Morning. Morning, Mr. Baca. If you can unmute, you press the blue button. There you go. There's a blue button on your screen. It says mute or unmute. There you go. Now I can't hear you. You got to unmute. There's a blue button.
There it is. Okay.
How are you doing?
All right. Find yourself.
Good, good. Let's see. I have Luisa Fernando Sanchez trying to join on, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, here we go. You want to unmute Luisa Fernando Sanchez. You press the blue button on your screen. There you go. Okay, can you both hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I can.
Okay, could each raise your right hand? You swear the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
I do.
Okay, okay, Mr. Baca, this is an eviction. Why are you evicting Ms. Sanchez?
Just problematic, not only with me, but with tenants. They're loud, banging on the wall. I've lost 2 tenants, although one wasn't a very good tenant, but I lost 2 tenants because of the noise. I've asked them on several occasions to remove furniture from the front of the apartments. They failed to do so, and it's been there for months. And just extremely hostile. They're extremely confrontational. Her husband is extremely confrontational. So I really don't even want to go by there because I'm afraid it's going to escalate to something that I don't want it to. But yeah, it's pretty much just the noise, the complaints, and the aggressive nature of these people.
Okay, Ms. Sanchez, what would you like to say?
Well, to the loud and disturbing noises, I do have 2 kids. We're home all day because of COVID. One's 4 and one's a year old. But I want to think this is all during the day. Starting 8 o'clock at night, we're ready to shower, ready for bed, ready for the next day. I don't, like he said, I don't know if it's, all day during the night. I see my neighbors outside, on a daily, throwing out trash, going to the back, and I've never had, an negative interaction with my neighbors or a negative comment like, hey, you're being too loud. Or I have never received a notice or a message from Mr. Baca, letting me know like, hey, you're being too loud. This is getting out of hand. In the past, I did have Mr. Baca talk to a neighbor that was being really loud, and Mr. Baca was nice enough to help me out. He understood that I had kids, that it was late. They were, getting up at night, and he handled the issue pretty good. The neighbor, he actually came over. He apologized. But if I would have known this was a situation, I would have, stopped if that's the case. But like I said, I don't think it to that extent.
You received a notice to vacate, correct?
I did receive a notice to vacate. In that notice, it does not state like a reason. It just says it's a notice to vacate. It doesn't have like a reason.
Okay, and Mr. Baca, have you expressed to her, you said you've given her numerous notices, or have you talked to her before?
I talked to her. She seemed to be extremely unhappy there. And I don't know, it's gotten personal, I believe, because it has gotten worse in the latter months. And I think all this came from, I mean, there's a difference between being nice and being stupid. And I think they think that I'm stupid because it's all on their conditions. Everything is their conditions. The noises, I have to go talk to the tenants. The payment, it's gotten to the point to where I've gone for a payment and they'll complain about chipping paint, condensation of the refrigerated air or the.
Have you talked to her about the problems why you're evicting her?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have, and I gave her the notice back on March 20th, and she was totally aware of that. She did mention that she was going to talk to her attorney because that she lived in such horrid conditions, and I said, well, if it's that bad, then I can have you evicted. If you're not happy here, you can either leave or I'll have you evicted. So, and that's when she got extremely aggressive. She used some foul language in front of her daughters that I don't care to repeat, but I think it's gotten to a point to where it's pretty much personal against me, and they're taking it out not just on me, but on my tenants. My tenants are uncomfortable. They've come to me because they feel like they don't want to. I'm sorry.
You stated you had 2 other tenants leave. They
Correct.
left because of they couldn't enjoy their apartment.
Because of the noise, and I took her side for it on both of them. I took Mrs. Sanchez's side, and the first tenant left, so they really didn't. They said, you know what, the noise is unbearable, I'm leaving. But they didn't really give me a chance to try and remedy the situation. The second tenant that replaced them, well, he had his issues of his own, so I had to, but it was constant bickering between both of them, banging on the walls.
Ms. Sanchez, you're not aware of these situations?
Well, I wasn't aware that somebody left because of me. I was aware that somebody left because I complained of the noise, and then, like Mr. Vaca just mentioned, he had mental problems. But like I said, I was never notified, or anyone has spoken to me in the sense of me being disruptive or annoying to my neighbors. Like I said, I do see them not on a daily, but every other day when I go out and throw the trash. My kids too play outside, and we see each other.
This conversation that Mr. Vaca just spoke of, you don't recall that conversation?
The conversation about somebody leaving because of me?
No, he said that it was confrontational. Have you had a confrontation?
Well, the last time I did speak to Mr. Vaca was March 11th. On that date, we did have I don't want to say a confrontation. It was more of a heated conversation. I had an electric problem on March 8th, in which we woke up to no electricity in part of my house, which was in the bedrooms. We only had electricity in my kitchen and in the restroom. And after this issue, I want to say it's what created this whole mess. I never had any problems with Mr. Vaca. We actually renewed our contract in January for another year of lease. So we were very communicative. We never, like in the beginning, we never had an issue. So I really don't understand why after my electric problem, it all turned into a snowball. And then that day that we had that conversation, that same day, 5 minutes later, he filled out an eviction form, which, like I said, it really didn't I never had a conversation after this with him about me being loud, about my furniture being outside. You know, I never received a text, a call, a paper saying like, hey, this is wrong. You're not supposed to be doing this. So to me, this is all new. He is saying the truth. We did have a conversation that was very heated. I did tell him like, hey, this is my right. It's been more than 5 days with no electricity. I have my kids here. It is a pandemic. And he, you know, I think it was a bad moment for him. And he was like, you know what? I can't deal with this. I'm going to evict you. It's easier for me. My daughter was there. She started crying. And I did ask him to leave. I told him, you know what, Mr. Vaca, this issue is not good for me, not good for my kids. I'm not in a good situation with no electricity for 5 days. And he continued to evict me. The last time I spoke to him was that same day, March 11th. That same day we had that conversation, our last conversation. And that same day I received my notice to vacate with no reason to why.